Dear students, in this unit we will talk about the key adaptation of higher plants, which are the most successful of all land plants, to adapt to this land. And one of the remarkable adaptation is the presence of or the development of pollens. Now, pollens is important for sexual reproduction of flowering plants as well as the plants that produce cones, that means gymnosperms. Now, each pollen contains male gamete, which is necessary for fertilization. And the scientific study of living as well as fossilized pollens is known as palynology. When we talk about pollen grains, they are produced in the male part of the flowering plants, as you can see here. Stamens, they are composed of filaments, and this filaments carries anther at their tip, which contains pollens. Now, pollens are released into the air or at this place in large quantities, and their primary goal is to reach the female part or female reproductive organ. Now, in order to move to the female reproductive organ, they can be carried by wind, by water, or some external pollinator, for example, ants, bees, and other insects. Now, this pollen is a very hard structure, and it is well preserved and protected from desiccation, and it has the ability to reach the female organ without their dependence on water. Now, male gametes reach female gametophytes, and inside the gametophytes, they have egg cells, which are the female gametes, and they reach those female gametes through the pollen tube and give rise to, after the fertilization, give rise to the zygotes. Now, the transport of these pollens from the stamen to the stigma is referred to as pollination. There are two types of pollinations. One is known as self-pollination, and the other is cross-pollination. Self-pollination occurs when pollen grain are transferred from the same flower of the male part to the female part and fertilize it, or even from the male part of one flower of the same plant to the other flower to the female part of the other flower. This is called as self-pollination. While in cross-pollination, the pollen grain are deposited in the stigma of a different plant of the same species. These flowering plants as well as the gymnosperms rely on external agent or vectors for the dispersal of their pollens. Now, the sperms of modern gymnosperms, you can see the example here. This is the cone of gymnosperm pine tree, and as you can see, it is a naked seed. It is not protected by the ovule. These sperms of modern gymnosperms, they lack flagella. But in some species, for example, cycads, and in ginkgo, the sperm still possesses flagella that help them to swim down to the pollen tube of the female gamete and fertilize it. However, these female gametes are enclosed in a pollen grain. So these adaptations have really helped these higher plants to successfully colonize land.